we're still priced about 180% cheaper than one of those major cities. The closest city to us, in terms of a major city in the world, we're priced close to 200% lower.
So what's the average sweet spot of initial investment someone would need if they was to approach you to help them buy a property?
Buying off plan to buy and flip makes a lot of sense. You've only put in 50%, but you're getting 100% of it.
Dubai real estate market can be challenging and sometimes rewarding as well. What common challenges do new investors face and how can they navigate through them successfully? Hello and welcome to Property Investment Blueprint Podcast. And today's podcast, we have Ali Saleh from Dubai. How are you, Ali?
I am good, my brother. Thank you so much for having me. I look forward to the podcast and unpacking everything that we're going to discuss on today's podcast, my man.
Fantastic. I love that, bro. So just before we go, what do you expect our listeners to learn from watching or listening today's podcast?
It's a very good question. Very, very good question. I thought that's your job to give them a rundown, but let's see. Look, everything about Dubai real estate, everything about the benefits, why you should invest, the returns, the capital appreciation, the amount of wealth that you can generate in a short period of time, the tax benefits. There's no tax here, of course. Okay. And then on top of that, man, we can dive into obviously the lifestyle. We can dive into everything else in between. Obviously, if we're comparing it Dubai to the UK or other parts of Europe, man, the weather here is insane. You're so close to everywhere else in the world. I'm from Australia personally, so for me, it takes 14 hours, 15 hours to get to Dubai, so it's far. But I'm now closer to the rest of the world. So, man, there's a lot for us to unpack. We can even go down the path of the process of investing, how it's going to work, and what you can actually expect. And then obviously a little bit about me. And if you want to get into the Dubai real estate industry, well, I'm also your guy.
Fantastic. Let's go. So before we get to start unpacking this, what is your contact from earliest years? I need to understand Ali. So tell us a bit of a background about yourself, how you started, your childhood life, things like that.
Very, very good question, man. So I'm one of 8 kids. So very, very big family, 6 boys, 2 girls. How did it all start? So a lot of my family and a lot of my extended family are all in the construction industry where they're either laboring for somebody or, the very, very rare few of them would be having their own business, not many. I don't know. I tried that whilst I was young and never actually enjoyed the physical labor side to that side of work. I refer to myself as a little bit of a pretty boy. I like to dress well. I like to look good, feel good. I don't like being dirty. I like to maintain myself and I care about my presence, man. So it just wasn't the right fit for me. So growing up, man, I don't know what it was, but I've always had this mindset to really want to be a winner. I've always had this mindset that I wanted to dress really, really well and to earn a lot of money. And at some point in my life, I always wanted to wear a suit. Now I've gotten to the point where I was wearing suits every single day. I don't want to wear the suits anymore. But look, a bit about me, man. It's what you see is what you get with me. I'm always the loudest person in the room. I'm very, very excited. I'm very, very energetic. This is me, honestly, on every single day. Whether I'm having a shit day or having a great day, there's always the energy there. I now own my own real estate brokerage, and I need to lead by example. Obviously, if I've come in flat, the whole team's going to be flat. So I need to continue, regardless of my external circumstances. I still need to be here and make sure that everyone here is vibing off this energy, which is typically how it works. But look, I've been in real estate now since 2015. That was when I first joined the industry. I was working as an associate, as a PA, as a door knocker, worked my way up, and then finally got into sales. And up until 2022, the end of 2022, beginning of 2023, I was still working in Australia as a real estate agent. I had obviously at that point progressed a fair bit. I had my own team. I had a team of 3, so myself plus 2 other associates. I also had an administration person as well. So I had a fairly good, successful team that was going on. And I was quite a well-known real estate agent back home in Australia, and I was the number one agent in a few of the areas that I was servicing. Things were going really, really good. Long story short, I came to Dubai on a holiday over New Year that year and bumped into a real estate broker, and I had a conversation with that person. That conversation honestly changed my life.
Wow.
Cut that story short and that conversation short. At the end of that conversation, he just said, man, you should really consider moving here. I said, look, I'll think about it. That was pretty much it. 3 days later, I'm still in Dubai. The company that he works for basically called up and said, if you're still here in Dubai, would you want to come in for an interview? And I said, yeah, I'm still here. Went in for an interview. I didn't know I got the job on the spot, but I walked out of that interview and I was like, whether I get this job or not, I'm moving here. I just saw all the opportunity after that. It just opened up my mind. So I went back to Australia. 4 weeks later, I ended up moving to Dubai. That was it, just so quick.
Wow.
4 to 5 weeks. And that was it, man. I've been in Dubai now since last year in March, very beginning of March, up until now. And in a year and 9 months, man, I'm, like I said to you before, man, I'm very, very blessed. I'm very grateful to be in the position, circumstance that I'm in, that I've been able to do what I've done in this time frame. Honestly, moving to Dubai has genuinely changed my life, man. It's a year and 2 months in, I resigned from my previous employer to start focusing on working and opening my own brokerage. And alhamdulillah, here we are. I'm actually in my office at the moment.
I can't wait for you to show us the office, man. So it is very exciting.
I'll show you soon. But I already got 8 brokers working for me. We have 2 admins. We have an accountant. We have a PRO. We have a videographer. Now we got a full team, full team happening. Like I said, man, very, very blessed. I know that I couldn't have done this without being here in Dubai. I wouldn't have been able to do this soon and this early on into my life.
Massive opportunity in Dubai and witness. I know we're going to touch on a lot more about Dubai because that's the whole point. We want them to learn on how to invest in Dubai. Dubai is renowned for its ambition real estate project like the World Islands. Could you share what makes these areas attractive to investors and residents alike?
Good question, man. Good question. I think it's the only place in the world where you can invest into real estate where there are such extravagant projects. Like you have one of the world's largest man-made islands, Palm Jumeirah. And that is like an island coming off the shoreline shaped in the shape of a massive palm tree, where you have properties almost 80 million pounds. That range up into that. Like, it's a lot of money, man. And there's people that buy these plots and people that buy these properties and villas. And then you got the opposite side that now they're creating a palm 2 times the size of that, which is one of the world's largest man-made islands to date. And it's just, man, there's things on offer here that are never going to be offered anywhere else in the world. There are exciting projects that are designed and tailor-made to try and increase tourism, to try and increase people to want to be there and invest there. Man, it's the only city in the world that you can actually come to and you have almost anything and everything within a 5-minute drive or within a 10-minute drive, whatever it is. Man, I'm on my phone right now and order a new iPhone, it will deliver to me within 15 minutes.
Wow.
Like, it is to that extent. You want milk delivered, it will be here within 15 minutes. Man, like, anything that you can desire, it's just based off convenience. They've literally built this city based off convenience. So to answer your question yet again, Matt, there's just so many factors why people are driven to Dubai. Like in Australia, I know the UK as well, the taxes are massive, man. They're really, really high. 48%. In Canada, it's like 52% for some of these taxes. Now, a lot of these countries, man, you're losing more than 50% of your hard-earned money to the government that really does very, very little for you. Over here, you buy property, you pay no, and then you decide to sell it, you pay no capital gains. You rent it out, you pay no capital gains. You rent it out, you pay no money in terms of the income that you're getting from your rent. You don't have to pay any of that tax. Everything is tax-free. And then the best part about it is the people that really invest here that have looked into Dubai or that have reached out to me, man, Dubai is so young. And if you've been here, I'm sure you would have seen that a lot of development, but there's also a lot of empty space. Man, if you compare Dubai to like London or to Paris or to New York or to Sydney, Australia, whatever it is so far behind in terms of the amount of development that is there. These major cities in the world, they're all full. This is so young, and there's still so much to come. That is the most exciting thing about it all, is because, man, we're still priced about 180% cheaper than one of those major cities that I've just mentioned. The closest city to us, in terms of a major city in the world, we're priced close to 200% lower. So, like, we're significantly lower in terms of price per square foot or price per square meter, which is only going to increase. And then, obviously, population will double over the next 8 years. There's physically not enough homes to house this many people. So it's just so much exciting stuff to come. Man, it's an opportunity for you to be able to put some money in where you're almost guaranteed to walk away with, if not double, then triple.
Yeah, I love that, because when I went to Dubai, looking around, right, coming from the UK, where everything is kind of a bit old, when I was driving through Dubai, everything is new. Even the road, the overhead roads, I'm thinking, what is going on? Everything is brand new, right?
You know what? In Australia, right, a newer kind of home is something is referred to as, if there's a 30 years or younger, is a new home. An old home in Australia is like 60 to 100 years old. That's an old home. Over here, if a property is over 5 years old, that's classified old.
Wow. Yeah, I can tell, man. When I'm driving past all these guys, everything looks new. So for our audiences looking at Dubai as a potential investment opportunity, what are the first steps they should take to get started? And how can SBRE assist in this process?
Very good question.
You can break that down for us so we've got that picture. Yeah.
Or we can make it as simple as possible. Just contact me and I will make your dreams come true.
I love that.
It's like that. It is a very, very easy process. It depends on how you want to invest. If you're an investor and you require a mortgage, you're going to need at least a 40% down payment. The banks here will only lend you up to 60% as a non-resident. Alternatively, you have another option where you can look to purchase an off-plan property, which is what I would recommend. And the reason why I recommend it, you're buying for slightly below the market value today, and the property doesn't actually complete for another 2 years, meaning that you bought at today's price, and if you decide to sell it in 2 years' time, obviously the market would have increased. And at that point in time, you have the newest property available within that area that you've purchased in. So people want the newest thing in that area. So people are going to be driven towards your property. If the market's gone up by 30% by then, which on average in Dubai goes up by 18% year on year. That's overall. There's some areas that have gone up by over 40% each year. But if we're working off average, and then let's say you've gone up by 15%, so by 30% by handover, now you've already increased by 30% minimum. And then keep in mind, you have the newest property available, which obviously adds value in itself. So if you're looking at going down that option, then all you need is 10 to 20% down payment, depending on the developer. And then you've got to follow a payment plan, which it does vary upon developer, but on average, you're probably looking something approximately around 5% to 10% every 6 months up until, and you only got to pay up to about 50% throughout the construction cost phase. So throughout the construction, you come up with 50% over a 2-year period. So if you're buying for £500,000, for example, you only need to come up with £250,000 over the construction period. And then you actually have the opportunity to flip it and sell it without paying the additional $250 that you still owe the developer. So that is why that buying off plan to buy and flip makes a lot of sense, because you've only put in 50%, but you're getting 100% of the returns.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much how it works. What I do, I'm not your typical real estate agent where I have properties and I look to sell properties and I advertise them online. I work specifically and only for buyers. So if anyone in this audience is listening and is looking or interested in purchasing in Dubai, all you need to do is either send me a DM or get in contact with me somehow. What I will do is I'll actually listen to what it is you're hoping to achieve, put a structured and a tailored investment plan on how we can actually help you achieve those goals. And then what I do I then negotiate for you. I find you the right property. I look to get you a better payment plan. I look after the whole process from A to Z. You don't even need to come to the. And then when it comes time to sell the property later on down the track in 2 to 3 years' time, I can then look to obviously assist you from that angle as well. So I'm more of a investment and asset advisor rather than I am a real estate agent. I generate and build wealth here in Dubai.
Sorry, I love that. I'd like to break that down a little bit. So I'm taking down mad notes here, right? So let's just go back then. So suppose I lived in the UK and I've seen Dubai as a potential investment area, and I want to buy a property in Dubai, right? What are the requirements as an international investor I need in order to allow me to be able to buy a property in Dubai?
Very good question. All you really need is a valid passport. And I know that sounds a little bit silly, but you need a valid and in-date passport. You need to have at least, like I said, a 40% down payment if you're buying with a mortgage, or at least a 20% down payment if you're buying off plan.
Okay.
Obviously, if you require a mortgage, then it gets a little bit more intricate. You're going to need, obviously, of funds, proof of like employment in a sense. They probably want to see 3 months of bank statements and pay slips potentially, see that you are employed and you can actually make those repayments. Other than that, it is as simple as that. We just got to find you the right property. You pay whatever the down payment is, and then you acquire the property. You can acquire it within a matter of days and take possession of the property within a matter of days.
So with the registration, do I have to register to a body back in Dubai? Do I have to do anything legally in order to be able to buy the property? For example, in the UK here, you would have to register in some form to be able to buy a property. And maybe you want to register your company if you want to buy it on the company name. And if you want to buy it yourself, you can be international and buy it, but there's a different sort of legal stuff you need to do in order for you to be able to do that.
Etc. So there's nothing you need to register whatsoever. You literally, honestly, if you engage me and said, Ali, I want to buy, I've got X amount of money, this is what I have to work with. It's all in cash or it's all in my bank account, whatever it is. I want to buy. All I got to do is, okay, what are you looking for? How much, what are you hoping to achieve with it? And how soon are you ready to make a decision? You tell me I'm ready to make a decision today. My budget is £500,000 and find me a 2-bedroom that's going to get me a good rental return. No problem. Find you that today. We get your money sent over from UK to here, which I can help you get done. The money will land here within a matter of 2 days. We literally sign a contract. That's all done digitally, so you don't even need to be in Dubai for that. If you're buying with those funds that are already available, genuinely speaking, by the time the money gets here, I would either tell you flight and come to Dubai because you have to be here for the transfer, which is when you take possession of the keys, or you appoint me as your power of attorney, and I'll go there on your behalf and pick up the keys for you.
Right, as simple as that.
It is that simple. We have to obviously then fill out like some forms about who you are and where the money has come from, of course, just for any money laundering purposes, etc. But very, very straightforward forms. Very, very straightforward process. Very, very easy. It's fantastic. Even right off plan. Genuinely, if you tell me, Ali, this is what I want, I find you a property that ticks your boxes. I send you the property. You tell me, yep, I'm okay with that. I want a 2-bedroom that faces that way because that way is the nicer view. No problem. I find it for you. You pay a security deposit, which is probably going to be around £8,000. That will secure the property in your favor. You send me a copy of your passport and your email address. And then with 10 days of that, you need to come up with 10% of the overall amount. So if it's worth £500,000, you need to pay £50,000, and that will get you the property in your name. Khalas.
I love that. So now let me take that hat off as an investment. Suppose now I want to buy a holiday home or holiday apartment in Dubai. I'm not intending to sell it. I just want to have it as a holiday home. When I go to Dubai, I've got somewhere to stay. So for some of our audiences, most of them or some of them are also looking to do things like this. So what sort of process do I have to go through to make that happen?
Look, that's also a good question. So if you're looking at buying something to then like lease it out as a Airbnb or something along those lines, obviously you need to find something that's going to be in a good location that will make your investment worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
You'll need to then fully furnish the apartment or the holiday home to a way that it's really good. Then you need to market it very, very well. But in terms of getting it managed, there's many companies here that will help you manage that asset to ensure that the property will always be free whenever you want to come and visit. And then on top of that, making sure that you're getting the maximum amount of return for that property. The process is just as easy. You don't even need to be here for it because you own the property. It's just a matter of getting the right person to actually manage that property for you. And like I said, man, this country, this city is based on convenience. So anything, you can get anything done for you as long as you have this. Like as long as you got the money, which it costs you too much to do, but man, you can get anything done for you over here. Like that's just the way the place is designed.
I love that.
Somebody to come and pick you up and drop you off at a certain place at a certain time and wait there for you, they'll do it. You want someone to come and you have a set of keys that I need from you and you're on the other side of Dubai. Boom, I'll get somebody to go and pick it up and collect it from you. You need groceries delivered in 15 minutes. You can get that done. Like there is, to that extent, anything is possible here.
Fantastic. I love that. So you talked about off-plan, right? Yeah. And you talked a bit about buying the property outright. I met a real estate agent in Dubai, one of the biggest out there. They did talk to me about off-plan. I wanted just to kind of understand your kind of idea on this. So I met two agents. The first agent greeted me at the airport, excited, told me a lot about real estate in Dubai. I don't know how they know I was in real estate in the first place. We went, we had a meal, they took me around and to show me properties. So we went to one of these high building and they went and showed me a studio flat, right? They showed me that studio flat. It's a beautiful flat, don't get me wrong. The view is amazing. It looks really, really nice and amazing. But it is very tiny as well. So they told me the price. We went back to their office, only for them to tell me, yes, you can buy that flat, but you would own it with over 4 more people. I'm thinking, how is that going to work? How can you buy one small flat for say £400,000, and then you've got 4 more other people that are sharing the same actual flat? So how does that really work?
Yeah, look, there's 2 ways that can work, but either way is not profitable and it's not advised to do whatsoever. So I've seen it a few times where a property is for sale and it's like, how is that for sale for so cheap? But you're only buying a quarter portion of that property. So like an owner owns a quarter of it and is like, oh, well, I want to sell my portion. So he sells his portion. It's an investment property, but whatever the profits are is just split amongst 4 people. So I guess it could be an okay opportunity for you if you didn't have much money and you wanted to invest. But even so, I would much more encourage you to just continue saving for an additional year or 2 years and buy your own thing. Because then you're not worried about what are the returns going to be? What if somebody else sells their portions? What happens then? And then if it doesn't get bought up, like there's so many factors where it could go wrong. In my opinion, it's just it's not a wise thing to do. There's so many.
I thought so too as well, because they kind of hide that during the conversation, right? It's at the end of the conversation. Then I realized you're selling me a portion of it, right? I said, look, I don't know how's that going to work, and I don't think that is a viable option for me. So for the people now aware about that happens, it's good that we have shine a light on that. So now let's get it on the other side. Let's say now I want to flip.
Sold? Give me 1 second, brother. I think one of my brokers just closed this first deal.
Always signed, just waiting on the
fucking come on, brother. Absolute machine. Give me 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I'll be with you.
You've just closed the deal, right? Live.
Yeah,
Let's give you a round of applause, man. Well done. Well done. Right. So I don't want to take much of your time. We are nearly there, Ali. It's all right. We are nearly there. So just a quick one then on the type of properties. If I want to flip, right? What type of properties do I need to concentrate on if I was to approach Ali to help me out?
Look, good question, man. Honestly, I don't give too much advice. I won't say that. It's not that I won't give too much advice for free, but um, my ability to advise people is I know that I advise very, very well. So I limit myself to what I say in public a lot because a lot of brokers will just listen and be like, I'm going to do what he does and what because it works. And it's not that I don't want other people to know, but at the end of the day, man, a magician never reveals his secrets, right? Or his magic tricks. Yeah. But look, the truth of the matter is it all comes back down to your budget and what you have to spend. Because depending on what your budget is God's going to allow for us to be able to say, okay, well, you're not working with 400,000 pounds. We're working with £1 million. With £1 million, we got X, Y, Z. Okay, with 400,000 pounds, we have X, Y, and Z, but not quite up here, probably somewhere around here. The returns are still going to be really good, but Dubai is a place where the more you have to play is the more you're going to receive. So you're going to pay to play. And the more you spend, the more the returns will be. But it's like anything in life. The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. So, but look, in terms of flipping, man, I would never advise to buy a studio to flip. And I would be very, very opposed to telling you to buy anything that's north of 3 bedrooms to flip as well. So 1 and 2 bedrooms are, in my opinion, the best things to flip because there's more demand for that style of property. Find a lot more people looking to buy a 1 bed or a 2 bed. People potentially looking to buy a 3 bed rather than a 4 bed. Not to say that you're not going to make money, but ideally you want to buy the best possible investment that's going to give you the best opportunity to sell it in an efficient period of time and obviously make the right amount of money on top of that. So sometimes your 3 beds can take a while to sell, but like I said, it depends on your circumstance, depends on your financial position and how soon you want to make a decision to sell. Sometimes the 3 bedrooms are the better option because it goes off price per square foot. So if you're buying a 3 bed for a lower price per square foot and it grows a lot more, then obviously you're going to make a lot more of a return. You instead of looking at a 30% capital appreciation, you may look at a 45%. But it may not take 2-3 weeks to sell. It may take a month and a half, 2 months. It depends. So this is why it's very important to have the right advisor. So that way accordingly. And I'm going to advise you in a way that's going to ensure that your investments and your goals are going to be satisfied and achieved. Because at the end of the day, if I can do a good job for you, you're going to refer me to your friends and family. You're going to be like, this guy was honest. This guy was on it. He genuinely was ready to buy this and he told me not to buy it. He told me to buy something that was actually cheaper, but it was going to be better for me. You're going to remember, honestly, then I've told many, many people not to buy what they were thinking of buying. And it's just the business has come back tenfold because I'm an honest man.
Fine. I love that. I really love that. So with the average return then, before I touch on to the return, I know I just wanted to be brief here. So what's the average sweet spot of initial investment someone would need if they was to approach you to help them buy a property? What is the sweet spot? What sort of money they need to be able to have for you to get them that property that would give them a serious return?
I'm going to be talking in terms of off plan, right? Yeah. So realistically, man, times 5, 200 to 250,000 pound is all you need.
How much?
200 to 250,000 pound.
Okay, good to know. So what? Yeah, Karen. Sorry.
That works out
Karen.
to be approximately 1 million dirhams, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So anywhere in between that, you'd be able to find 1 bedroom if that's where you wanted to start, and that's so with the idea and more so with the idea to try and flip. Keep in mind, like I said, it's not 200,000 or 250,000 pounds up front. That you only need 50% of that, which works out to be about 125,000 pounds over a 2.5 year period. And then you have a decision where if you want to try and flip or keep it, then it's up to you.
Fantastic. So in terms of yes. So in terms of the return, then what is the sort of percentage?
Yeah, so if you're looking at it in terms of a return, on average over the last 3 to 4 years in Dubai with off-plan projects, especially the projects that I work on, majority of my clientele are looking to buy off-plan to try and flip. So the returns that we work off is a minimum base of approximately 25 to 30% at the absolute worst case scenario.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That is a good return. So Dubai real estate market can be challenging and sometimes rewarding as well. What common challenges do new investors face, and how can they navigate through them successfully?
Very, very, very good question. There's a lot of developers here in Dubai. Some developers are better than others and some are worse than others. There's some developers in Dubai that only market towards the UK or towards the US or towards Australia because nobody in the UAE will actually buy from them because their reputation is really, really bad. Yeah. So you will never know this being in the UK. You just think, oh my God, look how good this project looks. There's crystal blue lagoons. There's really, really nice infrastructure. There's a nice community coming, blah, 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 blah. Really, really strong and good flexible payment plans. And then you think, why not? I can afford this. I'm just going to buy it. And then you buy it, but you're not advised by anybody. Honestly, and the only way that you can actually counter that is by not working with the developer directly, because if you go straight to the main source, they're going to tell you everything you want to hear. They have no reason to tell you otherwise, because if they tell you don't buy this, they're losing an opportunity. But if you come to something like myself, where I have no legal ground and nothing, no ties to any developer, and you tell me this is what I'm thinking, I will tell you my honest opinion. Don't do this, do this. And this based on my professional opinion. I've been in this game 10 years. I know what works. I know what doesn't. I have clients that have trusted me with being their power of attorney to actively purchase properties on their behalf. They just make the payments. This Ali, whatever you think that we can make a 30% return on, buy it, we'll make the payment instantly.
Wow. I love that. Quick fire round question. We're nearly one word or a couple of words on these questions, okay? We're there. Oh. What was your worst advice you remember receiving?
Worst?
Yes.
Not to open up my own brokerage, because it was a bad time to do it and I will fail. And it's easier just to work for somebody else because there's less overheads and less responsibility. And I'll earn more money that way.
Best advice you remember receiving?
That was advice that I was given from my most recent employer when I signed. If we never opened up, we wouldn't open up right now because the market's bad. And I'm like, how's the market bad? I've just had 3 PB months in a row. Crazy. Anyways, next question.
Yeah, best advice you remember receiving?
Honestly, it's probably going to sound very, very cliche, but live your life with no regrets. Never regret something that you once wanted, or never live your life with regret, or never look back and think, I wish I'd done this. Just fucking do it.
I love that. So this podcast is called Property Investment Blueprint Podcast. What does Property Investment Blueprint means to you?
It's exactly what it is in the name. It's a property investment blueprint. So the way to be able to make it happen in real estate and in property, what is the exact blueprint? And everybody will have their own different type of blueprint. There'd be so many different people. If you spoke to 100 people that made it with real estate, they'd all tell you a different way on how they did it. That's where it comes back down to speaking to the right person to ensure that you can make it in how you want to make it. And I'm your guy.
Absolutely. If there is only one person you'd love me to interview, who would that person be and why?
Well, not a regular person or a famous person?
Regular person, famous person, whoever you think the audiences would learn a lot from.
Honestly, there's one person that I really, really aspire and admire and look up to more than anybody else. And it's Cristiano Ronaldo. I just respect what he's done.
Wow.
He is, man, this the way that this guy lives his life, the amount of adversity he's had to face, and he still continues to shut people up. And he does it in silence. He doesn't talk too much. And he's just so disciplined. And I'm all about discipline. Discipline is the biggest thing in this world, man. So I respect, you got to respect what he's done.
Fantastic. What an amazing way to end. And that was a great special moment with you, Ali. You've been amazing, right? If someone is interested in your services, how will they contact you? Where should we follow you? And where are you hanging out on social media?
Very, very good question. I'm on all platforms. My main platform is Instagram. So if you want to get in contact with me, follow me on Instagram at Ali Saleh _realtor. I'm sure you're going to add the handle.
Yeah, we do.
That is my main, that's what I'm active on. I have a social media team who runs everything else. So if you want to speak to me direct, get to me on Instagram. I respond to DMs on Instagram. If you want to follow Journey, follow me there as well. And you can also follow my company's page, SBRE_official. And that is pretty much it. We can then chat on WhatsApp. We can then chat on Instagram on DMs, and then we can obviously take it to WhatsApp. Only WhatsApp me if it's real estate related, please.
Fantastic. I love this, Ali. Thank you for taking us through the journey. Thank you to giving an open light bulb moment on how investment is in Dubai. It has really changed my mindset of how I think about Dubai. It has also enlightened me the benefit and the returns you get from investing in Dubai. And thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for helping people actually transform their life through investment properties. So thank you. It's been great having you.
Thank you so much for your time, Rahim. It was an absolute pleasure, brother. Let's keep in touch, and anything you need, feel free to reach out, my brother.
No problem. Cheers.